When we say we build truck canopies, we really mean it. Behind us is this awesome NPS truck that we've just finished. It's got the twin GCI Tray Tec canopies sitting on the ATW tray. Let's get into it. So starting off, we'll go straight into the passenger side. So this is the kitchen side. This is where all the magic happens. So jumping into the front canopy. So the front 2-meter box is pretty much your living quarters for these type of builds on these trucks. So very, very similar build to what we do with the American vehicles. So your front unit here, straight away, you've got that massive appliance pantry. So that's room for your microwave, travel buddy oven, coffee machine, sandwich press, pretty much any sort of combination you want. There's plenty of room and options there to throw all your gear into there. So moving forward, standard with these builds, still the 130 litre Bushman's fridge. So massive upright fridge. Uprights are lighter, cheaper, because you haven't got a drop down fridge, and you just get a lot more storage space in terms of the fridge itself. So moving on next to that one. So another massive little pantry. So these pantries are good. So this is sort of your food storage pantry. So your cereal boxes, your food containers, pretty much like your little storage for your living quarters as well. So moving on to the heart of the canopy on this side. So this is the full kitchen setup. So this is our fantastic kitchen unit. Same as what we do for the American trucks and the domestics, but obviously retrofitted for these big trucks here. So the first portion slides out, and this top portion here is the storage. So usually for your pots and your pans, or pretty much anything really. This front portion here is your paper towel dispenser. The cool thing about these is you can actually dispense it from the front while the unit's still closed up. So if you've got a pantry out, or you've got your hands are dirty, you can easily just dispense that and grab that. So it's a nice little neat feature the boys have implemented into these builds. So moving towards this section as well. So you've got a slide out prep bench, a kitchen sink that actually functions as a proper tap, so you can plumb your water into there, all the hoses and everything included. Another little neat feature too we usually miss for some of these builds is it's got a bottle opener and a little little plastic bag hanger at the front here. So coming on to this side as well, so this slides out, twin induction cooktop. So obviously with everything now, with these power systems getting bigger and better, induction really is the way to go with a lot of these camping setups, especially if you're on the road for decent periods of time. Open up this bottom section and you've got forks, knives, cutlery storage here on the bottom as well. So as you're cooking, you've got everything in front of you. You're cooking away, you've got your pots and your pans, you've got your prep bench, everything's right in front of you. With this lid open as well. On this side too, you've got a bit of storage here, but also a nice little LED light. So if you're working in the middle of the night and this is blocking the LED light and you're still grabbing stuff out, turn that light on and you've got a heap of bright light right on what you're cooking. So there's no real limitations with these. So the boys have thought of everything with these kitchen setups. So closing this up really quick. So the really neat feature about these setups is how compact they are. So although it has all the features, the boys done a great job to tier it into a level where it compacts quite nicely. So plenty of storage space up here on the top, which is also a real useful way to run stuff between this side of the canopy through the other, because the drawer behind it is the same height. And between both drawers along that top floor, you've got tie down points, there's nutserts all the way through, so you can actually run little eyelets and have a heap of tie down points if you had any bigger gear that you wanted to tie down. So a quick rundown on the passenger side of the front canopy. So obviously this is your living quarters on these type of trucks. So the next question is your storage. Where are you storing all your gear? So customer has gone for the rear empty. So it's a 1300mm rear empty box. So when we say empty, false floor, it's still fully finished. So it has the uni strut on the bottom and top. So you can still mount drawers to it, ceiling baskets, all sorts of gear in the future. So even though it is empty for the moment, you can still definitely add further accessories and gear to that rear canopy. Even though it's a separate unit, it still has the central locking, LED lighting all tied in with the rest of the vehicle. So one press of the key and your central locking works on both doors, even though they are separate units. Also worth mentioning, these rear boxes, they are independent between the front and rear. Still has the central locking, LED lighting, everything's still tied between the two. And the cool thing about these as well, because they're a separate unit, the roof rack is separate as well. So that means you can actually remove this rear box independently to the front box. So if your situation changes, you've got to carry some extra gear in the back or whatever you may need to do, you can easily remove the rear box and still have your living quarters on the front and have that tray deck on the back. So just like any other Tray Tec build, at the back here we've got our twin spare and our roof access ladder. So we can still do the same great accessories, your jerry can holders, your portable toilet holders, and obviously any combination within. With these bigger trucks, one thing to probably keep in mind is how big your tyres are going to be. So how big the wheels and tyre packages are on these. You can sort of consider where the spacings are and the combination of these, but we can easily accommodate, so no problem there at all. So jumping onto the driver's side of the truck, still plenty to see on this side of the build. So jumping into the front canopy itself. So this is where all your storage is essentially on this side of the truck. So you've got your massive Energize power system. So I'll jump into that in a second. So obviously with these setups, you can do 3 drawers. Customers option in the 40 litre Evercool, which is a great setup. So your Bushman's 130 litre fridge does have a small freezer compartment, but if you're on the road and you've got big trips, it does really help to have a secondary fridge. It's a beer fridge, it's a freezer. You can just set it up however you want. 9 times out of 10, that's usually your freezer on this side. So these trucks will end up with our great drawer system. So the front drawer here, massive storage, and yet again, we still have our fantastic prep bench here on top. And then the next one as well is a full depth drawer unit as well. So straight away, you'll see the difference between the 2 drawers. So you've got your full depth drawer and your secondary drawer with a stainless steel prep bench here underneath. So the drawers themselves, this drawer is actually a little bit longer as well, so bigger capacity here. Reason for that is the secondary drawer has a battery compartment behind it, same as the 40 litre Evercool. So that means we can actually get 2 massive 200 amp hour VTEC batteries in behind these to provide that 400 amp hour system without compromising too much space, having any ugly wiring, and still being accessible if something does happen to those batteries. So jumping into the power system. So it's got our fantastic Energize Tourer package. So this is paired with 400 amp hour twin 200 VTEC lithium batteries. So in this particular setup, so you've got your AC charger, DC to DC, and a 2600 watt inverter. 2600 watt inverter does actually have periods of peak up to 2900 with the 400 amp hour battery setup. So it is still quite a large inverter, so plenty of space there to run your induction cooktop, your other appliances without having an issue at all. So with this Energize system, the boys at Fuse Auto Electrical have worked out magic and added a few upgrades to this package. So it's got twin DC to DC chargers and an extra solar regulator at the back. So that actually brings up the capacity to up to 100 amp of input from the solar and the vehicle all at the same time. So plenty of charge coming in. So you're on those bigger trips, the truck is set out for a couple of nights, you can charge those batteries up super quickly. So a quick rundown of the front portion of the canopy, and yet again, you still have that rear storage here on the back portion of the canopy. Same thing on the other side, still an empty build, but plenty of storage space. So you've got your living quarters, everything you need, plenty of storage, and then again, empty, lockable, secure storage for any of your valuables that you want to take with you. All right, thanks guys. Thank you for watching this rig rundown. Thought I'd give you a quick rundown of this NPS build we've just recently finished. Please keep in mind, we can do these big canopies for this big truck. So you see lots on our American builds, now our domestic builds, but don't forget, we can still do these massive NPS trucks. If you are sort of looking down this path and you want to do a big build, please reach out to us, our website, our Instagram, our phone. I'm more than happy to give you info. We've got plenty of options and packages for these big rigs. Thanks guys.